Hello, hello. It's Carmen Hunter of Carmen Hunter Health and the founder of the Institute for Functional Health Coaching. So it's time for an updated version of this Muse headband that I am absolutely crazy over. So in 2017, I started using the Muse headband after I had significant trouble being able to meditate by myself. I started using the process of visualization back in my early 20s, late, maybe 19, 20 years old. I was using cassette tapes. Then I moved into the CDs and DVDs, sitting in front of the TV, using the CDs, trying to concentrate, trying not to judge myself for not being able to get into that calm and relaxed position that most people talked about when they reached meditative state. They're like, oh, it was so great. I felt relaxed. I was calm. And I never was able to get into that until I got the M-Wave 2 by HeartMath, the HeartMath Institute, which was great. But then as I continued to use that M-Wave 2, I started to want something more where I could not be so focused on the things that the M-Wave allowed us to do on the computer, not focused on watching these lights on this thing. I just wanted to be able to close my eyes and be present and figure it out, in a quieted state, which meant having my eyes closed, not being distracted by other things around me. So before anybody makes a comment about the Muse headband having an app and the EMFs and all of that, just know that there is a lot of great information out there about why the benefits of the Muse headband outweigh that. Okay, so you reach out to Muse if you want to ask questions about the EMFs. I'm here to talk to you about the reason why I recommend and suggest this Muse headband for people who need to calm down their nervous system and need to, or really want to, just learn how to meditate. So with that said, I'm going to give you some tips about how I use it, a couple of things that you got to watch out for when you're using it, and maybe hope to guide you in a direction where you can find a way to calm your nervous system down. Stress is the biggest, absolute number one cause of disease today, especially today in 2022, where we are 2 years into something that has caused the most stress that we probably have ever seen in our time. Okay, so I have this charged up. I'm going to walk through the steps. First and foremost, let me show you the box again. One of the reasons I like to show the box on things like that I like is because sometimes branding can be inconsistent. When you go out to a website, maybe the box or the colors of it don't match something. And I do tend to get some questions about things like, which one did you get? And is this the one? And is this the right website? So I also want to say this, that which one you choose is going to depend on what your goals are, and which one you choose is going to depend on the cost as well. So do your homework on how you want this to benefit you. Some of them are geared towards performance and sleep and things like that. This for me is just about having a calm and quiet experience in the morning before I start my day, or when I'm under significant stress and I can feel that I'm getting a little bit hijacked, right? Like my brain's getting a little bit hijacked, which is causing my body to go along with it, like nervousness or a little bit more anxiety and things like that. All right, so the Muse headband is on, as you can see by this light right here. I had already started this video once and realized that the battery was low. So we should be charged right now. The Muse headband comes with an app. It's right here. I'm going to open it up. And then you can't really see, unfortunately, but it gives you this menu here. And on the menu are a lot of different things. You've got, the length of time, the soundscapes you want to listen to, whether or not you want a guided meditation experience. And then it's got other things where you can upgrade, you can gift and things like that. Okay. So what I love about it, besides the fact that I can get into that state of mind very quickly, where I'm really calmed down and I focus on my breathing, and it's very easy for me, is that I don't have to have someone talking to me. I can turn off the actual exercise instructions. Okay, so I also love that it tracks my progress as time goes on. So I'm going to go ahead and walk through the process of putting it on and all of that in just a moment. So bear with me here. So behind our ears here, and I've got very wispy hair. So ladies, you want to put your hair up, and you want to look for that mastoid bone right behind your ears right here. That's where this headband's going to sit, as well as across the forehead. One of the things I wish I'd learned earlier is that this headband really works best when you have moisture. Okay, so dampening behind the ears and this is just a wet cosmetic cotton swab type of thing. So dampening behind the ears and then a swipe across the forehead can be beneficial. So it looks like this. It stretches out and it tucks in like this. Okay, so it's adjustable. So you want it at its largest setting, before you put it on, and then you're going to squeeze it shut so it fits and tightens up behind the ears right here. Whoops. And you can kind of hear it when you put it on behind the ears and then on the forehead, and then moving any hairs out from underneath it. It can be a little bit of a challenge. That's one of the challenges of the Muse headband, is actually making that first connection because of the hairs behind our ears and positioning and moisture and things like that. So let's start this session and see what happens. See if we can get a good reading on this this time around. So we'll show you that this is what it looks like when it's trying to sense. And as you can see, it's got the little colors there that show where it's struggling to pick up or where it might need to be adjusted. And you see this little guy down here. So it looks like on the front, we look good. It looks like the ears are struggling to pick up. So it's moving up and down, like reminding you, please adjust your headband, right? So we may not have enough of a battery charge here. Let's see. Here we go.
For this calibration, find a comfortable position and close your eyes. Take a deep breath.
It's lost calibration, and it might be because I'm talking and moving my forehead, so I'm going to have to be quiet.
Muse is now listening to your brain signals. Relax and let your mind flow naturally. No need to do anything. Think of this calibration as a time to just be. No need to do anything. Think of this calibration as a time to just be. Ready? Place your attention on your breath now.
Okay, so I'm pausing that there because you don't want to sit here and watch me meditate. But let me just explain a couple of things that you were listening to. So the background noise was I have rain going. So as it gets louder and quieter, when it gets quieter, you're recovering, right? So I'm going to hit it again in just a moment, but I wanted to share that with you so that you could hear. When the noise gets louder of the rain, that means that my mind has gone off somewhere. I've gotten off track. So then when I recover, I bring it back and it quiets down. That's how you it lets you know that you are recovering. You're bringing yourself back. You're like, oh, wait a minute, I got off track, right? The key for meditation for me is to do this without judgment of myself, without expectations of how many birds I'm going to hear. The birds are your rewards, right? So when the birds chirp, that means that you are in a calm state of mind. Okay, that's what you're seeking. You're looking for those birds to chirp. So that means that you're in that place where you're centered, you're calm, your brain is reacting to your thoughts, right? So if I think about something else, the noise goes louder and the birds don't chirp. So we're going to try to just do another, I don't know, maybe another minute and a half. I'm not watching it. It's very hard to meditate when you know that you're going to be sharing this with people. So, I did a 15-minute meditation one day. I got 110 birds. I did a 15-minute meditation another day when I wasn't dialed into calming down. I only got like 20 birds, right? So the calmer you are, the more dialed in, the more that you're focused to calm your nervous system down, the more birds you get. And then that's your reward. Okay. So I'm going to hit it one more time. Hopefully the headband's holding on with a battery, and then I'll wrap up. So I'm going to try this one more time. Probably as good as it's going to get today. So a few birds. Okay. Teaching a session is not easy when you're being watched. Last time I did it, I didn't get one. So with that said, I want to go ahead and just show you. I'll go ahead and take the headband off. But again, just remember, if you don't make a connection, you may need to wet a cotton ball, put it on that mastoid bone behind your ears, swipe across the forehead, and get that connection going. Okay. So when you finish a session, and let me just say this too, no judgment on yourself. If you start with 5 minutes and you're sitting there and you're nervous and you can't concentrate and you feel, it's going to make it worse. Okay. So when we head into these types of things, we want to be able to do it in a way that we don't make ourselves feel bad if we don't hear the birds, or we don't reach what we think we're, that meditative state we think we're looking for. It takes practice. It truly takes practice. So then when you're done, what I love about it is you end your session. I'm going to end the session, and it takes you to a screen where it says write a journal entry. So you can talk about what, maybe something was going on with you that day that made it harder, or whatever, just anything you want to share. And then you can skip to your results. So it tells you your recoveries. So recovery, basically, when your mind gets off track and you bring yourself back, and how many birds you got. Okay. And how long it was. And then I love that it has this little graph on it. I wish you could see this better, but of course we're on a computer technology, but it's got a graph here where it shows what's going on with your brain when you were active, when you were neutral, when you were calm. So one of the reasons why, again, that I love this, and I want to wrap up here, so I'm going to put this down, is because, I talk about stress, and I talk about the 7 essentials of health. And I used to talk about food as being the first essential thing, but I've moved to stress perception as being the first thing that's the most important. Because if we don't change the world, the way that we see the world around us, it's very difficult to consider reducing or managing our stress. And what the Muse Headband does for me is it gives me that time for myself to get centered and actually feel what it feels like to be in my body. We run around on autopilot all day long. We do. We just, if we're moms, especially, we're dads or whatever, we're working, we're parenting, we're doing all the things, we tend to not even be grounded within ourselves. What meditating with the Muse Headband does for me is it really gets me grounded. It gives me a little bit of that dopamine hit that I think we all need a little bit more of right now. When I hear that reward, and I know when I'm done with the meditation process, I feel better. I feel more settled, more rested. I feel like I can get through the day. I get to, when I'm meditating, I think about the things that bring me peace and bring me joy. And you heard the rain slow down and the birds chirp. I've got something that I personally do for myself to get myself into that centered place. I've got a couple of different things. One of them obviously is to use deep breathing through the diaphragm. I fill up my belly with air, and I focus on my breathing there. I also think about sitting on the beach with Jesus. It's one of my favorite things to do is I just sit there in my mind. I'm sitting next to him or I'm talking to God. So that's for me. So whatever your belief is or whatever brings you joy and brings you peace and makes you feel really good inside, that's what you focus on to bring in that state of mind. And it's just really cool to watch it all happen or hear it all happen using the Muse headband. So let me show you one last thing. You can buy a case, it's extra, but I do recommend it because it is a little bit fragile and you want to protect this thing. Okay. You want to protect it and take it with you when you travel because it's really beneficial on trips as well. All right. Thanks for listening. Go to carmenhunterhealth.com and learn more about how to work with me. Maybe you're dealing with some serious stress of your own. Maybe you're just trying to kickstart your life again. Maybe you've been through some significant betrayals. I do coaching. I do one-on-ones. I teach groups. So please reach out to me. And you can also email me directly at carmenhunter@protonmail.com.